So, first of all, maintainer burnout is real. When you look at the world of open source, I always think of open source represents this incredible treasure for humanity. And behind open source software is real people. And it's easy to forget that a lot of the people that are working on open source are not doing it for money, they're doing it for love. And the reality is that when you're working on a project for a long time, it can become tiresome, it can become challenging. And a lot of the people that you tend to interact with forget that you're doing it for love, not for money, in the case of many of these maintainers. And so, from my perspective, I look at the fact that open source is such a critical capability, the fact that open source is constantly being repackaged into a lot of different form factors and reused in a lot of different ways, and the fact that a lot of the folks that are behind the scenes maintaining these critical repackaged open source technologies are under constant pressure. It represents this substantial and existential threat to the way that we consume technology today. And so something has to change. And I think there's a couple of things that should happen over the next little bit. First of all, we need to develop a way to recognize and respect and ultimately support individuals that are under strain. We need to find that lone developer in Nebraska and bring them the support that they need. And that doesn't mean just paying them money. It means bringing them the things that they're really asking for, better tooling, additional individuals that might participate and carry some of the load for them. So at the end of the day, that's what people really want. So we need systems in place that we can start to identify and support those people. We need to hold vendors accountable to giving back to these communities. So, one of the things that I really hope that, people start to think about on the back of things like the XC vulnerability and on the back of some of the pressure that we're seeing in open source communities is the vendor that you're looking to buy the solution from contributing to open source communities, or are they strip mining open source communities? And I hope that vendors that contribute and vendors that are supportive ultimately get customers voting with their wallets to come and support them over time. And then I think finally, we also have a lot of hope. Generative AI is changing the ecosystem. Generative AI represents an opportunity to bring new capabilities, new tools, and take some of the drudge work out, and hopefully enable maintainers to be more sort of sustainable and focus on things that excite them. So, between these things, better tooling, better recognition, and encouraging vendors to, act with decency and support communities is going to be really important for the future.